Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. It is I, the Wolfman. It is Thursday. June the 8th. It is 6:37 in the morning. I have not had any caffeine in over 2 weeks. And I will tell you that I wanted to die. Man, you don't realize how much your motivation is tied in to this Colombian bean until you cut it out, right? And so I've quit caffeine many times, but every time it's not what I expect. And this time was no different. So there is a bit of a pattern to it, but like it's different every time. So this time, I had a little headache the first couple of days. I had been drinking like 2 energy drinks a day, right? Life got rough, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have a caffeine, I'm gonna have an energy drink every day, and then at some point, somehow it was like every day, and then if I really wanted to feel something, I would have 2, and it just didn't feel healthy. And then if I didn't have one, I felt like absolute garbage until I got one in my system, and I was like, I don't feel okay. So it was the reason for the initial decision to drink energy drinks every day was just stability. It was like things are too crazy. I need a routine. I need emotional stability. So it's like I'm going to put the same thing in my body every day. I'm going to wake up, I'm going to have a breakfast, it's got plenty of protein and fat in it for, stability, for not for any kind of physical benefit, but for stable mood, because a lot of your mood is based on how close you are to starving, which makes sense if you think about it. Like, we're biological creatures who have to eat to live, and for thousands of years there wasn't supermarkets, so the longer it's been since you've had some high calorie, high protein, high fat food, the less protein and fat you have available in your system, the more aggressive you need to get so that you can go out and you can fucking get yourself some food, right? However you do that. And so, rabbit trail. But so the point is, I was like, okay, so I'm going to have an energy drink every day, and I'm going to have, for me, meat for breakfast. Give me some meat. And it did. It worked. It was good. And so, because I had a bunch of waves come through my life and disrupt my status quo. I got laid off, and then I moved, and then I got laid off again, and then I had to find a new job, and it just changed the plan, decided that things were just too loose, and that there needed to be a better, I had a dream, right, of building these retreat centers, which is what I want to do, but I didn't have a plan, so it was never going to happen. And it was good. I'm not saying I made any mistakes here. I'm saying it was good to spend some time just dreaming about it and just being like, wouldn't it be nice to have this retreat center and imagine what kind of people are going to work there, and what we're going to offer to people, and how we're going to make our money, and what we're going to be able to give to people for free, right? Because that's, at the end of the day, that's the part that's really exciting about the retreat centers, is hopefully at any given time, at any one of my retreat centers, because I want to have at least 3 in the U.S. to start. I'll start with 1, but I want 3 in the U.S., and then I want 1 in South America, definitely outside of the U.S., and then maybe more in the U.S. So it'll make more sense to figure out how we want to build once we've got the initial 4, right? 3 inside the U.S. and 1 outside the country. But at any given time, at any given retreat center, I want to be able to host 150 people for free. And so, like, people, I look around, I look at my own life, and I'm like, I need a break, man. Like, what would I really want is I would want somebody to just take care of me for 6 months. Like, that would be fantastic. You know, like, no strings attached, just come in, no lease, we got you for 6 months. You know, and then there's like a schedule of things that you can do, but there's nothing that you have to do, and there's people around. If you want to hang out, there's spots where people will be, and you can go, like within walking distance of where you're sleeping, there are people, and you can go hang out with them. And if you don't want to hang out with people, then you've got your little space that we've provided for you for free. And, you know, there's a dining hall or whatever, and you can come in and you can get nutritious food, and then there's a gym, and you know, there's a 24-hour class schedule. You can come in, you can take a jiu-jitsu class, or you can take yoga or CrossFit, or you can take a dance class, parkour, whatever. There'll be all these classes. So or just like a regular, like, I don't know if class is the right word, but like, this is strength training. So it's on the schedule. You have a guy who's running it, so you don't have to think about it. You don't have to plan it out. It's just like, hey, we're doing, you know, heavyweights. We're doing high reps, whatever, different weight programs, stuff like that. It's just different exercise. So you don't have to do all that thinking. You can get your body in good shape. You can get your mind in good shape. You can work on your, what do they call them? Passion projects, right? And this is the kind of thing that I think, for one, it would just be fantastic. It would be better than winning the lottery, as far as I'm concerned. Because if you win the lottery, you've got to provide this stuff for yourself, even with the money. So to some degree, I'd rather have this than the cash alternative or the cash equivalent or whatever. But so I'm like, well, it isn't out there. I don't see myself winning a sweepstakes that's going to give me this. So what am I going to do? I'm going to build it, and then I'm going to provide it for 150 people. You know, and we're going to have retreats and events that you have to pay for, and we're going to rent the place out for festivals and concerts, and this is how we're going to make the money. But the thing that's exciting to me about it is that at any given time, we'll have 6-month retreats for, you know, people who want to come and just get the fuck out of society as it is, get out of their 9 to 5, like, just stop. You don't have to do anything. You got 6 months. You figure out what you're doing afterwards. Obviously, you're still gonna have to figure out what you're doing afterwards. You know, so I'd like to have coaches there, you know, who can work with people, so that you're not just like taken out and it's like, okay, so you haven't done anything for 6 months, and so you feel good, all right? Your body's in shape. You're calm. You're confident. You've been, you know, doing paintings or sketches or writing music or playing your guitar or sitting back, you know, playing video games, because they're not required to do anything, but there's opportunities, right? But I think that if you give people opportunity, 80% of the time, 80% of people will do something with it, and then maybe 6% of them will do something amazing, right? 6% of people, if you put them in that situation, would fucking do something that you can't even imagine, because the only reason that they're not doing it is it's like, well, I've got to spend 40 hours a week paying the rent and making sure that there's groceries, and I don't have time or energy to do my other shit. And especially if you're living by yourself, or you're single, God forbid, you're a single parent, where do you have time for any of this? So the idea is to take the pressure off people, not forever, but for 6 months, and give them the opportunity to take this and do something with it. And I don't really have a vision for what they do. Like, that's up to them. Like, everybody's got their own vision, and if they don't, well, then it's 6 months to figure out what the fuck you want to do with your life. And so, like the point of all that was that, yeah, I would like there to be coaches there at the sanctuaries. I would like there to be coaches there at the sanctuary so that they can talk to people, and people don't just come in and think that, like, okay, well, yeah, it's nice, and, you know, now my mental health is great, my physical health is great, but I have no plan, and I have to go back out into the world and fucking scrape and grind for a living again, and I'd rather just kill myself. Like, this is no way to live. And so, like, I understand there's potential there for a rough re-entry, right? So, re-entry coaches, that's what we'll call them, re-entry coaches. We'll have some re-entry coaches at the sanctuary, and we'll help people to put together a plan for what they're going to do once they leave. Because you can't stay in Oz forever, man. You can't stay in Wonderland forever. You got to go back. You got to go back. You got to go out in the world, and you got to make something happen, right? I made this. You go make something else. So that's my dream. And I don't know why I brought it up, but I know I was talking about caffeine and the way it hits you. And so, like, for a few days after I quit caffeine, oh, right. So that's what I was talking about. I was talking about how I had decided to drink an energy drink and have a meat for breakfast every day because I wanted stability and I wanted focus. And I had been daydreaming about the sanctuary, but I hadn't put any kind of a plan in place. And so there was no timeline, and there was no idea, like, how am I going to get this done? Because it's a big undertaking. I understand that. And if you're going to build a tower, count the cost. And I'm going to build a tower, right? And I've counted the cost, and I think I can do this. I've got a goal, and I've got a plan, and it's none of your fucking business what those things are. But unless you want to help, if you want to help, hit me up personally, and then we'll see whether or not you can get into the top secret clearance for this project. But my point is, I decided to drink an energy drink and have a meaty breakfast every day, and that had led to addiction, which, like, addiction to caffeine, man, okay, so we're all dependent on things. We're dependent on oxygen, we're dependent on grocery stores, we're dependent on, you know, our car. You could call these things addictions. It's like, what's your definition of addiction? For most people, it's like, well, this is going to keep I'm going to keep needing more. That's part of it, so that wasn't a problem with the caffeine. And it's also like, it's not good for my health, or it's not good for something. There's some negative consequence of this behavior. Some negative consequence of this behavior that makes me want to do it, like, not want to do it while I'm wanting to do it. I'm wanting it because it solves a problem, but I don't want it because it causes this other problem. And so with caffeine, I have a hard time explaining why I wanted to get off of it, but a big part of it was because it just wasn't doing it for me anymore. And it was like, okay, so you used it and it stabilized your mood for a while, and now you're back to a slightly different version of the same ups and downs that you had before you had caffeine. So what's the point? Like, it'll stable you out for a few months, and then you're right back to fucking ups and downs. And like, at the beginning it was like, woo, I had an energy drink, and now I'm excited, and I'm excited about life, and I'm out there and I'm doing it. And then eventually I'm fucking drinking an energy drink and going back to bed, and it's like, well, you know, it costs money. It's probably not great for your health. It dehydrates you. And it doesn't feel good anymore. So it wasn't so much that the cost increased as it was that the payoffs decreased. And I guess I decided, like, I've been on and off caffeine my life, and I've seen what happens. And the truth is, like, it's a short-term solution to a shitty situation, but it is not a long-term solution. And I'm tired of getting on and off caffeine. So I decided this time, I got off alcohol for different reasons. That was more about my health, because I just didn't feel healthy. I'm like, man, I don't have the energy. I'm drinking these energy drinks, and I'm like, I know that part of the reason why I need these energy drinks is because I'm drinking too much. It's not causing any lifestyle problems, but it's causing me not to have the energy that I want, causing me to feel like dog shit when I wake up in the morning. So, cut out the alcohol. I'd like to be able to have alcohol every once in a while as a treat. I don't want to be a sober person. I like to be able to have alcohol every once in a while as a treat. So I cut that out. I've cut it out plenty of times. Cut it out 40 days. But then as soon as I start drinking, I'm right back to the same patterns. So I'm like, okay, well, 40 days once or twice a year isn't doing it, because I stay off it for 40 days, and then I'm right back into the same pattern. Within like a week or two of start drinking again, I'm drinking every night. So we're going to go off of it for 100 days. Go off of it for 100 days, maybe do some Cambo at the end of the 100 days, and really just come at alcohol with a whole new attitude, and like come at it as if I've never drank it before, and be like, okay, so this is an experience, this is an event. I want to stay mindful while I'm drinking. If I drink and I lose my mindfulness, then the rule is to quit drinking. And if I drank yesterday, I don't drink today. You don't drink 2 days in a row. You don't drink to get rid of a hangover. You don't drink the same day of the week that you drank last week, because I've found that, like, that's a habit creation, right? So, like, you do it once, it's an anomaly. You do it 3 times, it's a fucking habit. And so, I didn't get time to finish, but the whole point of this was to fill the space and to exercise the muscles and to have a high energy video produced by the end of my ride to work early in the morning without caffeine, building those muscles. Love you. Kon omne, kono yoko. May your heart be happy. May your mind be clear. May you find satisfaction in all your endeavors and ultimate satisfaction.